Welcome to the Short-Term Rental Playmaker Podcast, where we break down what it really takes to win in short-term rentals in today's market. From insider tips and emerging trends to real conversations with top playmakers in the space, this show gives you the tools, strategies, and mindset to build and scale a successful short-term rental business. Now, here's your host, Joe Roney.
Today's episode is brought to you by Savvy STR Agents, the short-term rental real estate experts helping investors find profitable vacation rental properties nationwide. If you're serious about scaling your STR portfolio, Savvy STR Agents should be your first call.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Short-Term Rental Playmaker Podcast. I am super excited to talk about building generational wealth, right? That's really the topic for today because I've been in this industry now for 4 years, and I've seen a lot of people in and out of the industry and change course and do different things and find different ways that they can, find themselves being successful in this business. And I really want to talk about, what building generational wealth really looks like for you, for your family, for your children, for your children's children, whatever it may be. And there's obviously some different ways to do this. And, owning real estate is one of the best ways to build generational wealth. Owning big business and businesses is a way to have generational wealth. Selling businesses and having a lot of cash is a way to build generational wealth. But one of the things that I know for sure that the majority of people out there that are in the extreme wealth category all have one thing in common, and they own real estate. And they don't just own one type of real estate, they own an abundance of real estate. And it could be commercial real estate, it could be residential real estate, it could be short-term rentals, long-term rentals, mid-term rentals, resorts, campgrounds, whatever it may be, because those are all an appreciating asset. And in the history of real estate, that is still the best way to build generational wealth. And the reason why I bring it up today is because I've seen some people recently, they're like, I've kind of got away from buying they got into the short-term rental space because they bought a short-term rental, and they're like, I kind of don't really want to buy anymore. I'm just going to go to co-hosting or property management or, build revenue management and, companies or whatever it may be. And that's fine. You can build generational wealth that way, but you're building it in one business. You're building it in one facet that you're running, and you're operating this business. And I'll use a property manager as an example. The second part of this that I'm going to talk about is financial freedom, right? We all want to build generational wealth. Most of us want to have that financial freedom. When you're building a property management industry or a property management company, you have a lot of factors in there. Number one, you're always chasing, right? You're always going to be chasing more clients because current clients are going to fire you, and then you're going to build relationships, and you're going to get some more, and they're going to fire you, and you're going to get some more, and they're going to fire you. And it's an ongoing thing forever and ever and ever. I know this. We've owned a preschool for 20 years now, almost. And that game doesn't change. For 20 years, we get new kids, we get new teachers, we have to let people go. Some kids graduate and go to kindergarten, and we got to go get more kids. And it's an ongoing thing. And we love it. It's a great business. But it is extremely hands-on, even if you're hiring someone to do it. So even if you're the property manager that's like, I am hands-off, I'm out, you still have a boss. No matter what you do when you're a property manager, you have a boss. And that boss is every owner that you work for. Because every owner, you got to have those owner statements and those calls and those emails and all that stuff. So, when it comes to financial freedom, don't get me wrong, you can get financial freedom by owning a property management company. But if that's your end goal, is it going to get you the financial freedom that you want? I mean, are you always going to potentially still be working for somebody else? For me, I like the real estate play. Now, don't get me wrong, I co-host, I manage properties, It's a means to an end, right? Doing that helps me in many ways. It helps me set the market because I can manage better than most, and we can operate our properties in that 120th percentile or more. It helps me build income for more down payments, for me to buy more properties, because that's my goal. I want to build generational wealth for my girls. So we have 6, 8, 10, 15 properties, $20 million real estate portfolio in 10 years from now that we're continuing to, trade up, level up. But guess what? We're doing that for me. We're doing that for us. I'm not doing that for an owner. I'm not doing that for, somebody that, is a high wealth earner that just wants me to manage everything for them and I'm their peon, as some of these might think. No, I'm building that for me. And we're doing it with intention, because you can truly build generational wealth when you own something. And you may own your property management business. I'm not saying you don't. We own our preschool, and we owned our lawn and landscape business. Those are all great. But to truly build generational wealth, you got to have more than one income stream. And if your only income stream is that, what else are you doing? So 10 properties that make me $50,000 a year each is $500,000 a year. That doesn't mean we're not doing other businesses, because we are. There's lots of other things that are happening in the Roney household, and different things that we're looking to get into. But first and foremost, our goal is to build generational wealth and have that financial freedom to do anything we want, whenever we want, however we want, wherever we want, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to clock into a 9 to 5. And then at some point, we'll have enough real estate where I don't have to manage properties anymore, and I can just do my own, and maybe even hire someone to manage them for me. I don't know. That's what financial freedom looks like to me. And that's what building generational wealth, because that $20 million real estate portfolio, when I'm gone, if my girls don't want to take over the family business, they don't have to, but they still own $20 million worth of real estate that they can cash out and do something else with, hire a manager to let them manage it and reap the benefits. Doesn't matter. But if I am the owner of XYZ property management company and that's my legacy, and my daughters say, I don't want that business. Okay, we sell it. Maybe it's in a multiple. Maybe I make them $2 million. Maybe it makes $5 million. I don't know. I mean, in 30 years from now, is $5 million going to be that much money? Maybe not, So I like to talk about this because there's a lot of people that have shifted gears in this industry, and they're starting to forget what really brought them into this industry. And that financial freedom is what many people look at when they're buying their short-term rentals. Now, some of you may be in this and you started with rental arbitrage and you started with co-hosting, and now you're just getting in a position to buy short-term rentals, and that's okay. We are all on a different path. My favorite saying, and I say it all the time, is comparison is the thief of joy. If you're trying to compare yourself to the influencers or those people that are above you or the people that are ahead of you, stop. Stop doing it now. You cannot compare yourself to make yourself more successful. All you can do is stay in your lane, look at your goals, look at your objectives, and know where you want to go, right? That is the most important thing that you can do. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else, especially stop comparing to someone that has been in the industry for 3 or 5 years, or maybe they're new into the industry, but they came from millions of dollars and they just started investing a bunch or whatever, right? It doesn't matter where they came from or where you came from. Stop comparing yourself. That's not going to win anything. It's not going to win any trophies. It's not going to make you feel any better. And honestly, it's going to make you feel worse, right? Because every time you see someone else being successful, you're going to be like, oh man, like maybe someday, or man, that must be nice. Well, no, none of that. Go do it yourself. You can do this. So I like to, talk about that because it's just really important for you to have those goals and understand, what that is. And, like I said, comparison is the thief of joy. You are literally giving away joy in your own life if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they say. So like I said, doesn't matter what your goals are in this business. And if your goal is to build this huge management empire, all means, I'm not saying don't do it, but understand 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, what is that going to bring you? Are you getting the bonus depreciation on that management company? No, not so much. Is it, making you enough money to buy other businesses? Sure, that's great. And then the last thing I'll talk about is really kind of diversifying your portfolio. I had Ryan Bakey on a couple weeks ago, and I was really impressed because, he's a young guy and, obviously has been very successful in this business, and he's my CPA and, really, really done amazing. But, he was very adamant to say, yeah, if I see a good deal, I'm going to buy it. Long-term rental, multifamily unit, glamping resort, short-term rental, doesn't matter. If it's a good deal and it's going to help him build his generational wealth, he's going to go out and purchase it. And it obviously still fits his buy box. He has his goals and objectives and what he wants to do. And it's great because it's a diverse portfolio. He doesn't put all his eggs in one basket to own 9 properties in one market and that's it. And that's like the worst case scenario where all of your properties in one market and then you have a natural disaster and you're broke, you're out of business. So, just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit today. It's kind of been on my mind and just want everyone out there to really sit back and write out those goals, write out that 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, even your 10-year plan. I think that's a little bit far out personally, but really understand what you're doing. What's your business building for you? What type of business do you want to build? And, there's an old saying that you need 7 streams of income to be extremely wealthy. A lot of people say they've debunked that. I still think it's pretty accurate. If you have multiple streams of income coming in from multiple different channels, your likelihood to be on that top 3, top 1% is going to be a lot easier than having one income stream over here or one income stream over there. So, and that income stream could be 3 short-term rentals, 2 long-term rentals, a multifamily unit, a co-hosting business, and and coaching business on the side, right? Bam, you got it, right? And it can all be in this industry. Like there's a lot of people that are building businesses, whether it be what Michael Dinwood, what he's building with Rental Mind, or, Ipani's new coaching program and mastermind that he's doing, or, Bill Face Inner Circle and co-hosting and everything else. Like there's many different ways, as they say, to skin a cat. So I'm not saying that only focus on one thing, focus on the whole picture. So that's all I got for this week. Super excited. We are going into September. We are right in the cusp of the real estate season, getting super busy. If you're out there looking for your short-term rental, now is the time to be pulling the trigger, because if you're writing an offer in the first week of September, you're closing it in October, your first mortgage payment isn't until December, and you can still take advantage of that bonus depreciation and have your property ready for 2027 peak season. That's all I got, guys. Have a good week.